Peace family. Now joined in with Brother Jabari or Chairman Jabari or Daddy Watoto, that you may know me from. We have a great episode that we're going to have here today. We're going to be talking with my good brother, Brother Richard Raw. I first met this brother um, at an event with the PLM, I believe, and brothers kept talking about how strong this brother was, and you got to check this brother out. And so, I definitely checked the brother out, and brother's phenomenal, phenomenal hip hop artist that's coming up doing some positive things in the community. So, I really appreciate having this brother on board with us today. He also went on with one of the with some of the sisters from Watoto, and they did a video, "Keep Your Eyes on the Prize," with a couple other artists from the Baltimore area. And man, if you don't know about Richard Raw, you about to know right now. So let's give it up for my man Richard Raw is here with us.
What's
Appreciate it,
going
brother.
on? What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh man, we definitely appreciate you, coming on board with us, here with the Watoto from the Nile and Reality Speaks. We got a very rich lecture series that we've been doing for years, man. A lot of people think, we've been doing Watoto from the Nile, but this work we've been doing in the community for over 20 years, man. You know what I'm saying? And we reach them, whether we're going to reach them through hip hop, whether we reach them through lectures, events, wherever we go to the prisons, wherever we go to the streets, wherever we need to go, that's where we go to get this information out. So for the last 6 7 years, we've been actually dealing with hip hop, but that's just still not the only thing that we do. So it's just
Right.
about getting that information out. But man, it's funny. I was listening to Dead Prez album, the Grills,
Yeah,
and also listened to what's the first one? Turn Off the Radio, the mixtape.
yeah, that's the mixtape.
And as we was listening to it, I was just like, man, I said, but it's the problem with Dead Prez was just that it just they weren't able to put out enough music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and keep the music coming.
Yeah,
But they did some great projects for putting out enough music. But that's why we glad that we have people like yourself
word up.
that's putting that music out, having more. We need way more conscious hip hop artists. You know what I mean? Because I was sitting there listening I had listened to it in a while. I was getting pumped. I was like, yo, this is what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about. You know what I mean? And getting that feeling, getting that old feeling back. So definitely
word up.
appreciate brothers like you. But brother, before we get started, give us your website, your Facebook page, or whatever. How
Yeah,
you know.
what up? It's Richard Raw, man. I am a raptivist and an edutainer. I educate as well as entertain as well. You have to mix the two. You can check my music out and as well as everything I'm doing at www.richardraw.com. And once you go there, and I have my links to social media. And I do so much, man. It would take the whole show to talk about some of the things that we do, man. I'm very community oriented and I'm a program director and program creator. I'm a songwriter. I'm a poet. I'm a producer. On and on and on, man, and a liberator.
Right. Bruh, before we go on, before we get into a couple topics I want to talk about, if we just could, so we can get right into it as we put this interview up. I want people to know how you flow. You know what I'm saying? You just give us just a little something. You know what I'm saying? Just a little, just for the
All
people
right,
to hear. Yeah,
all right.
show 'em what you do.
I'm the modern day dead prayers. I'm King Tut waking up about to send a plague. I say Selassie is the conqueror lion of Judah. I say Obama is a puppet for devious rulers. Let's build an army with the Bloods and the Crips. FTP, FOI on guard patrolling the strip. Yeah, we need economic security. Recirculate black dollars in the black slum. On the banks of the river talking through the sounds that emerge from a hollow drum. On the run, cut my foot, still I run again. I say a prayer to the old spirits in the wind.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, my man. Richard Raw in the building. And look, bro, as a conscious rapper, hip hop artist. Just to mention, I got this off your page for your Facebook page, and you put up an article, and I went and looked at the actual video, and it was talking about how Future really isn't a drug addict. He just portrays it, and he says it's a nice catch. It's just something
Right.
nice to get into, and just wanted to get your feelings on that, man. Well, how do you feel about that?
You know what I'm saying? When I seen it, man, first of all, I think it was good because it really opens up a door of truth. You know what I'm saying? And when we're talking about what rappers are and what rappers do, it gives a glimpse into their reality. Some of them are just actors. And
Right.
when I look at Future, I look at an actor. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Someone that is playing a role. But it was interesting because what Future said is, I'm not. He says, I'm not an addict, but I portray an addict because it's a catch.
Right.
And I thought to myself, it's a catch, which means that this is what people are interested in.
Right.
This has become normalized in our neighborhoods. And so
Right.
I started thinking back, right? I was really thinking about it like how did this become normal behavior in our neighborhoods?
Mm.
And then it links me back to, if you really think about like Kanye West, right? He started to cross his music over, with 808s and Heartbreak. And
Right.
then you had people like Lil Wayne who brought out an album called Rebirth, which was a rock album. So you kind of see the shift that started to change in 2008, 2009, where everybody wanted to be white boy wasted and white girl wasted, and the pill popping was a normal behavior in our neighborhoods. And so, in order for these artists to be successful, they felt like they reached a ceiling. Instead of appealing to the blacks, a black demographic, they said, I want to appeal to a Caucasian demographic. And raves was the big thing back in the early 2000s, and it was about going to a rave, and that's where ecstasy and pill popping came in. So I'm just showing you like some of the history of how this became normalized in our culture. Lean and sipping lean and pills and all of that. We was in our neighborhoods. It was really about drinking and about smoking, but really trying to cross to another audience, it was more about the drugs. It was more about the pill popping. It was more about the lean and stuff. But that was really a Caucasian influence,
Right.
real
Right. Right.
talk.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? When everybody says, I want to be rock stars, they were tired of being rap stars. It was about, I want to be rock stars because, you want to appeal to both audiences so you can make the most money.
Right.
So when you talk about the pill popping, the Xanax and whatnot, and that's a lot of what is in Future's music. He talks about popping the Molly, and he also really talks about sipping the lean. And then he talks about popping the pills with the Xanax. So it's become normal behavior in the music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's when
Right.
you mess both cultures together because these artists were really trying to be rock stars for real. And in the rock world, they were already popping pills. They were doing the Xannies, which became the Molly. So it's interesting that influence brought about this kind of work, like this kind of whole conversation. Now, Future says, I'm not an addict, but I portray an addict. And the problem with that is you have a young generation, right? Young, impressionable minds who don't understand that he is playing a role. They believe it's real. And so they see that behavior and say, well, maybe because he's a brilliant artist. He's a brilliant artist. And they say, well, maybe he's a brilliant artist because he's doing the drugs. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to emulate and mock his lifestyle. And I think when he said that, I was hoping that blogs would pay close attention to it, but they just glossed over it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a full interview, but I think that
Right.
was the meat of the interview, and they just glossed over it. So, I think what we got to realize and teach the youth is really that some of these artists are portraying a lifestyle. Some of these artists are actors. It's not real. They're making money. You know what I'm saying? Portraying a certain lifestyle. And so I think, we just have to educate the youth. We have to educate our youth and to teach them that most of this stuff isn't real.
Right. 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 I mean, but should we be in an uproar about this type of behavior? I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, I mean, and I don't know if you have children. I mean, I got three children,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm coming up in the city of Baltimore. But while he's playing and portraying it, other people are going out and they trying this stuff off of his merit.
They are.
And
They are.
that's the danger of I'm gonna play this role. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this just to get some money. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sort of. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I mean, how should we be reacting as a community?
Well,
Behind the lyrics.
number one, we have to hold all of these artists accountable because anything that you put out in the atmosphere, as an artist, when you put that art out, you are responsible. You take responsibility for what you put into the world. So I
Right.
think he should be held accountable, and I think that's the issue is we had journalists at one point, true hip hop journalists and hip hop heads who did real interviews, who would ask them the critical questions, the hard questions. And it seems like, we don't have that real industry anymore. Nobody is like the person interviewing him should have really, really held him accountable and really dug a little deeper. But it's unfortunate because most of these people are doing interviews, are paid by the labels, right? So they're
Right.
paid not to give critical thought about the art that's being projected. So, we got to hold him accountable. He should be
Right.
held accountable for portraying a lifestyle that isn't true. And who is the target market for his audience are youth, are teenagers who are not ready. They haven't evolved, their minds aren't evolved to make critical thoughts. So yeah, we have to hold that brother accountable. Yes, he's brilliant, but we have to hold him accountable for portraying a certain lifestyle and projecting that lifestyle to youth who aren't ready, who can't make the distinction between what's real and what's not. So he needs to be held accountable, no doubt about that.
Because I used to do a program down at the youth prison, and we had a hip hop program there. And
Yeah,
a lot of them would express, like most of them, before they actually did their crime. I mean, these were very respectable young guys, you know what I mean, whatever, you know what I mean, and very smart. But before they would go out and they would do their crime, most of the time they get high, they pop the pills, do whatever, and
right.
would throw the hip hop on. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah,
for the influence and to almost that they will become like a Frankenstein, like a whole nother beat.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? A whole nother, be possessed by the dark side of the drugs, the alcohol,
right.
and the music to back it. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard because I mean, with Watoto from the Nile with the girls, we actually did some songs, you know, man, against the drill. Like we did, Trinidad James came out, and he became popular with Pop the Molly. You know, woo.
He's the one. Yeah, he's
And,
definitely
and
one of the pioneers of that conversation.
oh yeah, you know, and so we just redid his song. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like, you know what I mean? Like kind of like, hey, hold up, you want me to use drugs? You want me to do this? And let me get it straight at the because oftentimes I think people think that we just showing hate towards the young people. Let me say, I'm out in the community. I love the community. I love the youth. I'm with
Right,
the. I often back them when other people are actually putting them down.
right,
At the same time, I understand that they're being used like a tool by the system of oppression
right.
to to actually do their work. You feel what I'm saying? And to actually, you know what I mean, to keep people coming into their prisons, to make new addicts, to make them
Yep.
alcoholics, you know what I'm saying? So they're being used and they do it for money. Just like, when I look at a lot of the rappers, they're like overseers. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like on the plantation, keep, you know what I'm saying, to keep the other ones in check, to keep them going along with the program and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
I mean, you know, but a lot of people are not paying attention to the lyrics. They're not paying attention. So you can go to a birthday party and they talking about pop the Molly, I'm sweating. I mean, like, how can you be at a 5 to 10-year-old birthday party and everybody and they doing the dances? They got one here. I don't know if you ever heard in Baltimore, um Lil Scooter, and
Yeah, I think I heard of him.
yeah, and they got dancing. It's called Scramble Coke and Smack. Is you know what I'm saying?
Wow,
It's called the song is called Bird Flu. And
wow.
it's the chord like Achoo, I think I got the bird flu. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole
Yeah,
song, and then
and they love it though. He's
oh, and then
popular.
oh, he's popular, man. And in the video, like you see like people who are addicts in the video, and they kind of nodding off in the video, and it's like what I mean. And then they got the little children on the side, and they doing the actual dance, which is the dance of making the movement of making cocaine. You know what I mean? Making it on the stove and on the oven and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
this, brother. I mean, and this is why we do what we do, and I'm glad that we have brothers like you that's out on the forefront that's talking about stuff like this. Like I said, and why we got now. So on the other end of it, he's betraying that life. You got people like Jeezy right now who they
hmm
actually calling if I what do they call him, the preacher or the minister or something like that? They call him the preacher man or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now I am proud of. I mean, like he's trying. It seems like he's trying to
And I
have a
applaud those.
direction. You know.
Right, and I applaud that. I had a conversation with somebody, and they was upset. They said, Jeezy shouldn't be in that position. He made a living off of, I'm the snowman selling
Right.
coke.
Right.
And they was upset about that. But I said, but look at him. I said, he is definitely trying to do something different.
Exactly.
And I think he's not. I think the issue is I don't think he understands the issues in our community. He
Right.
doesn't understand enough. But he is attempting to try to do something different, and I definitely applaud that. I just hope that he would get into his studies to really understand the issues, because they're asking him issues about politics, and I watch and I cringe like, he doesn't truly understand.
Right.
But,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
we hopefully we can get more education to him so he can make some critical analysis of what we face in our communities and how these things came to be. You know.
no doubt, no, because
Because that's what we want, right? We want
yeah,
our artist who was once promoting Snow. He seems like he's not even promoting that as much anymore, and it seems like he's
yeah.
definitely trying a more positive route, and that's what we want from our brothers.
I've been watching and I've been following him, and it seems that that's the road that he's actually. I mean, because he's been meeting with Minister Farrakhan. He's been
Yeah,
meeting with a lot of folks. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's actually taking a different road. And like you said, and that's what we want. Like even when we did the song on Lil Wayne years ago, and a lot of folks, people asked me, would you ever do a song with Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne? I said, yeah, we'll do a song with Lil Wayne, but best believe if he did a song with us, it's gonna be talking about something, you know what I'm saying, something that's serious, you know what I mean? Something
and he
that's
would.
decent. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
he did a song on Distant Relatives. That was the Nas collaboration with the Marley.
right, right,
And there
right.
was a record on there, and I
Mm-hmm.
heard, and I said, look, he can rap, and
Yeah,
he understands some issues. But again, that's the point. Most of these guys are intelligent,
yeah,
extremely
yeah,
intelligent,
yeah.
especially to sell this type of product and to become this famous. Like I think Future's brilliant. I think he understands what he's doing, and he
Right,
showed that he's telling you what he's doing. This is what
right,
I am doing. You know what I
right,
mean? He's not hiding it. I am portraying an addict
right,
straight up. You know what
right,
I'm
right,
saying?
right, right, right in your
He
face.
straight no chaser. You know what I
Right,
mean? And so he's intelligent. You know what I mean? And it really talks about the values and the morals that we carry, especially in hip hop. It was all about getting money and getting out the hood,
mm-hmm,
right? That's what
mm-hmm.
became a part of the culture. And so when somebody does that, you know, they think that I can do anything, but you got to be responsible for what you put out there.
Right,
You got
right.
to be held accountable.
You gotta be, and so, man, I'm hoping, man, soon that we can get a system, but we need to do this on every level, man. Even holding the rappers accountable, the entertainment industry accountable, the
DJs,
politicians accountable. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
right?
as we start to unify as a people, we got to be able to hold everybody accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like people just want to blame the young people and the children. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they just come into a system where it's already messed up. The family structure is already broken, and we understand why a lot of them choose the road and why they actually just get involved and why they just say, hey, look, I'm trying to make money, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? We put them in this, but we got to start to hold them accountable, and we got to make a change at the same time. Like I know brothers like yourself, you got programs that you actually getting ready to start where you're gonna be reaching out to the youth, where you're
Yeah.
gonna be trying to get them to see another way, that there are other options.
And this is a teaching tool at this point. So I'm glad that Future said that because I know the young people are invested in Future.
Right,
So when I sit them down and I'm talking about who's your favorite MC, who's your favorite rapper, who you listen to, I know they're listening to Future because he's hot
right,
right now.
right,
So it's an opportunity to bring this up and say, did you know this about Future? Because I'm pretty sure some of them may not have seen that. So
right,
it's a good idea to sit them down and let's have critical dialogue about what Future is portraying.
right,
He's not an addict. He's not
right,
on drugs. He's not doing drugs like that. This is a businessman. You know
right,
what I mean? And then show them because our youth are so smart. Some of our youth can see through it. When I was, I look at it like some of us work in corporate America, and
mm-hmm,
some of us work for companies that exploit the poor, that take homes from the poor. You know
right,
what I'm saying? With
right,
subprime mortgages, and we work in banks, and they give out subprime loans, and they're discriminatory in their lending practices. So look at what you're doing in corporate America. So I mean, it's the finger is pointed at everybody has a responsibility with this thing, and those people are just should be held accountable the same way should be held accountable. You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right. I agree. I agree.
It's a rabbit hole we go down.
And look, and check it out, man. At the same time, what I'm saying, like while we looking at these artists like Future and all, we at some point we got to go right directly to the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
these people who own these record companies, what I mean, these Jewish owners, what I'm saying, the white power structure who's actually putting out people up to it, what I'm saying, and say, hey, here's some money. Here's, here it
Yeah.
is, here it is. And at some point we got to get to them. And then it got to trickle down to the radio station. It's a system, man. It's a
Yeah.
system, you know what I mean? And so we just go, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, we're approaching, even when we wrote the song about Lil Wayne, um, you know, it wasn't just about Lil Wayne. It's about the white power structure. He was there at the time because, he was a representation during that time. He was hot. He was on fire. And he actually was doing that promotion. So it was like, okay, we asked him, would you call your daughter this name? You know what I'm saying? Would you promote, why would you let your child take drugs? And so, like I said, why they think it's a game, people are actually dying from these drugs, man. I mean, like I said, we here in Baltimore, they popping these pills, they really doing it. So you can
Hey,
play with it, but they doing it.
you know what else is interesting? Lil Wayne has suffered from addiction, no
Oh
doubt
yeah.
about
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know addicts when I see them, man.
Yeah.
I've
Oh
been
yeah.
out
Oh
there. Like,
yeah.
he suffers from
Yeah.
addiction, and now he's owed what, over $52 million,
Wow. Wow.
right? By his label, or
Mhm.
by Baby. So it
Right.
just shows you that, man, when you keep a person addicted and you keep them in that state, then
Right.
it's easier for you to steal resources from them. So
Right.
that's what I look at Future. Even though Future is happy now, let's
Hmm.
look at a few years down the line where he'll be doing the same thing, talking about, oh man, I'm owed some money. So it's interesting that when you look at keeping these rappers high and keeping musicians high is a
Exactly.
good thing for
Exactly.
labels, because
Exactly.
they're not paying attention, they're not alert and paying
Exactly.
attention, and they're getting their money stolen. So that's my thing, is to the youth, communicating to them, saying we need you to be sober minded. A
Right.
sober mind when you're handling business. You're at work. You need to
Right.
handle your business.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying? So I can even tell you, man, when I stopped drinking and smoking, man, uh, I started handling. This is why my career has blossomed, because I gave all of that up. I wasn't sober minded. I wasn't paying attention, and you know what I'm saying. I'm just, I'm high, and then when people are coming up to me trying to make propositions for business and whatnot, I'm missing opportunities. And now I'm sober minded. So when I'm working and I'm out there doing my thing, man, I'm sober minded, and it gives me an opportunity to get more opportunities.
Right, right, right. Well, brother, we glad that you taking a road that you actually taking, and we're gonna show support. You know what I'm saying? So the people here, man. Once again, if you could give out your information, but before you do that, I just want to say one more thing. Um, we came out to Delaware, and you're pretty popular, brother out in Delaware. We came out to your show, and actually,
Yeah.
when we came out there, they actually shut the show down, and as we were getting ready to start the show, just tell the people a little bit about that, brother.
Yeah, yeah. So I invited Watoto from the Nile, as well as Yusha Assad. He came from DC, and we had some other people, other groups come out, and we made the event 12 and under were free, because we wanted our children to
Right.
experience a dope time and come to a concert. I booked the concert at a place called Theater Inn. We were scheduled to go on. I had a contract. I paid half up front. They were supposed to get half at the close of the show. And 10 minutes before the show went on, they pulled the plug and said, you can no longer be in this facility. You have to vacate the facility. And I was a little frustrated. The owners of the building received complaints about my music, saying that I advocate killing and violence, which was wrong. That was a misrepresentation of my music. If anybody heard my music, you would know that it's far from that. You know what I mean? I'm an activist, a community activist for my people, and a liberator. So they made they made a decision to close the show on that unsubstantiated claim. And so we were kicked out. And luckily, the mayor of my city, who I'm close with, we reached out to him, and he gave us the city county building to do the show.
Okay.
And so these are the types of adversity we're up against. When you do
Right.
something positive,
Yeah.
and when you do something that's real, you're gonna have adversity, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Look at
yeah.
Malcolm, look at Martin, man. Those brothers are no longer here, and
Right.
they stood for what's right. When you stand for what's right, you gotta expect that type of thing to happen, man. And it only made me stronger as an artist, stronger as a man, stronger as an MC, and stronger as a liberator, man. Knowing that they kicked us out of that building, and now we're seeking some reparations for that. And you best believe we've been sitting at the table with millionaires trying to get reparations for that, and they're on board, because the people threw a stink, man. It wasn't me. I didn't really have to say much, but the people went to their site and tore them a new asshole. This is wrong.
Hey.
This guy is this. So it actually turned out to be a good thing, man.
Right.
And now, we're gonna get some free programs out of this,
That's
man,
what's
and
up.
and and get our people into these programs, our youth, for free.
That's what's up. I mean, because when the girls saw that, man, the girls was pumped, and they was like,
Yeah.
"No, that ain't right." And so when they got to the stage, man, you know what I'm saying? They were on fire. But bro, we definitely appreciate you, coming to talk with us. And I want to have you on board often, where we talk about different things that's going on in hip hop. You know, what I mean, I want people to be able to come to your page. What again? What's the information again that they can reach you on?
Yes, www.richardraw.com. Check me out there, man. Yo, the next thing we definitely got to delve into on the next one, if we do it again, man, is this Macklemore situation with white privilege too. I would love to come back on and discuss that, man. I have some
Hey,
very interesting views about that.
hey, we can probably get on that next week sometime, man. You know what
All
I'm saying?
right,
This be
brother.
a regular thing, and appreciate you joining me here today.
Word up.
All right, peace.
Peace.